So welcome back, everyone. I hope you had some good discussion, and I can share my screen again, and it would be great if the groups could introduce to the plenary a little bit what they thought of, and then of course we can discuss it a little bit more in detail. Yeah. So the external challenges group, could you start?
Who would like to talk? I mean, I wouldn't. I prefer that everyone talks a little bit. So who would like to begin? Any of the ideas that it has been proposed so far? Anyone? Any volunteer? If not, I will have to choose one.
Carlos,
sorry, please start.
Nice.
So who would like to speak first?
Oh, okay, Frasha, you can continue, please.
It's you. I mean, Senat, would you? I mean, you were in the group, or no? You were in the other group.
No,
okay.
No, he was with us.
No, I mean, I was in the group, but Frasser, I guess he started to talk, so I'm giving the floor to him.
Oh, but
actually, I think Fraser is just unmuted. I'm started to talk. So I rejoined the call, and that's why I just heard the end and didn't write on the board. But for me, the part about awareness of MEUs is really important, like escaping the bubble, like bringing MEUs not only to people that already know about EU politics, but mainly to the people that want to learn but don't know as much as maybe some of us do about the dynamics of the European politics.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
I would like to add something. I think we should work more with local institutions, perhaps with local medias to promote our events, with municipalities, with high schools. We should definitely work with high schools directors, because they are the ones who are responsible for external cooperations. They are the people who are responsible when students of that particular high schools is attending another project. They are the people who are responsible for the projects that high schoolers do attend. So if we kind of start to sign memorandums with directors of education in our municipalities and start to work with local medias and stuff like that, I think that will have an impact in the broader state of the beta.
Definitely, it's the connection with the local institutions and in general the institutional communication. It was already said. It is definitely one of the biggest challenges that we have to face. I mean, for us and for many other organizations to actually grow. This is something that, of course, we will be discussing further in the next part. But now we will see more or less what would be the solutions. But is there anyone else that would like to highlight anything about the challenges, external challenges?
Can I ask what was meant by the psychological pressure? That's intriguing.
Okay.
That one.
So, Christine, would you like to continue with your?
I think it would be nice to elaborate on the psychological pressure. I was also wondering about that.
Okay, yeah. Who was the one that proposed the psychological pressure?
Yeah, I wrote that.
Okay, so if you could elaborate about that.
I think it's connected to the interconnectedness. I wrote too. We cannot meet each other other than online. We cannot share experiences in these troublesome times. So that has a lot of psychological pressure on us, also on the way we work and on the way we organize things. So I think this is an external issue we have to face. Maybe find ways to prevent that from affecting our way to work and affecting our effectiveness in organizing everything, actually. So I think this is one of the main external challenges we have to face in these times as a result of the COVID pandemic, which is also written down here. And everything that comes with the COVID pandemic. So that is one aspect I wanted to highlight.
Definitely. And I'm sure that Beta is doing in that aspect its biggest effort to continue connecting with people and to try to generate this effect of we're all together no matter the distance in that aspect.
It would be great if some of you could already think about potential solutions to these problems, because we will have the next breakout session on that. Mm-hmm. But seeing that it's already, I don't know how time is flying, let's continue with the second group of the internal weaknesses and problems. Maybe one of you could summarize this.
May I please say something regarding the challenges, just like it has already been shown here?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, what I see here regarding my experience is like, for example, maybe it will be more useful to have more scientific backgrounds and qualifications in MEU simulations, because those that study in the political fields or just in the fields of literature or just this field in general, have got the idea regarding the regulation, proposal, amendments, and everything. Also regarding the parliament. But those that have scientific backgrounds, they are very needed, especially for proposals regarding economics, regarding scientific issues, like the previous one was about clinical trials, for example, in MEU. Yes, I would like just to focus on this point, and I see it like a big challenge in MEU. So if it will be discussed more, I think that more scientific backgrounds will help MEU and Beta to get had more and more. Yeah, I hope that it's useful.
Thank you. Definitely a good point. We can come back to that when we discuss on potential solutions for these challenges. Someone from the weakness group, please go ahead and take the floor and just introduce this a little bit.
I can talk a little bit about them if no one else wants to. So yeah, I guess, I don't know, what will I go through them pretty quickly? Yeah, so dealing with administration was the first one kind of off the bat, and I guess it does tie into the geographical distance as well, making things hard. I guess we don't need to kind of let the admin problems that we've sort of faced this year because of geographical locations and stuff like that. But I think the geographical distance, that kind of point was also around making it hard to engage, for different members to engage with each other. And it kind of links to the external challenge of not everybody either has the time or the money to attend various conferences and MEUs, and that's how people get to meet each other, that's how people get to know each other, and once you know each other better, you can work more effectively together. So I think for a lot of people who aren't getting that, then it's a bit more harder to get yourself more integrated into the network as a whole. What else? Lack of money is an ever-present one. Talent retention and support for members. So yeah, supporting our members sort of through their whole kind of journey as a Beta, and having people they've built up their skills, they're very talented, been able to keep them on and keep them involved in the organization, and then also support for members kind of towards the very start of their kind of time of Beta. So we kind of talked about how if you're a new branch or if you're a new member and you're trying to start things up, it can sometimes be, whilst it's great that people can say from higher up, oh, just send an email out to us, or if you need any help or stuff like that, but sometimes it can be a bit better for that party to be a bit more proactive and actually reach out to them and be like, oh, I've got time to have a call with you if you kind of have any sort of questions or any way we can support, and maybe being a bit more forthcoming with that stuff as well. The other ones, I'm not too, I can't quite remember what we spoke about there. So if anyone else wants to cover them off, yeah.
We are a little bit pressed for time. So since we want to focus on the solutions, actually, if someone really wants to introduce this, of course, feel free. But I hope it will be clear.
You mean the weaknesses or the solutions?
The weaknesses, if you want to, but in like very, very shortly.
Yeah, I would like to add something just to Fraser's. Yes, everything was covered here, but I would like to say that MEU or beta in general is not available in all countries in Europe. Taking, for example, some European countries don't have so beta, so in general. And the other point is that the difference of understanding roles. There are people that act the roles like they are from those countries, for example, and there are people that just act the roles without referring to the economic or just to the external relations of the country they represent. So this is one of the points or the misunderstandings that we face or we see so always in MEUs. It's like people, they come just to take part in MEU like they are in a discussion or a debate without having any information about that country, about its relations and even regulations, parliament. If I am a minister, so I have to act like representing the state or just the council. Yeah, this is the point that I would like to enhance here, and I hope that's all.
Thank you. Yes, that's a good point. We are switching a little bit between like MEU things and beta things. So of course, MEU is more the conference, beta is more the organization. Yeah, just keep this in mind, and we will move on to the next breakout session. Let me show you. So the first group will discuss strengths and opportunities. We've already had like one comment that said that this kind of diversity of members is actually a strength of beta. The first group should ideally discuss what kind of opportunities or strengths we already have that we might make a little bit more use of, that might help us to grow further and achieve this vision of having an office in Brussels sometime, maybe. And
Christine, considering the lack of time, I would encourage just to do these discussions all together. Yeah, basically because we are 20 minutes left, and I'm sure that people would like to be in the next workshop and rest a bit. So I would encourage to continue everything in all together without the splitting into groups.
Sure, that's fine for me. If it's can I hear one or two voices? What do you think? Prefer to stay in the big group? Okay.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, perfect. Then let's do that. I mean, we have these two questions here, basically, the strengths and opportunities, and the solution to the challenges and weaknesses, which of course can tie into each other. So then I will just give you the floor, and feel free to put your sticky notes there. I will also keep writing a little bit while you talk. So go ahead.
I'm sure that you have a clear idea, so I don't think it's difficult to find good things and opportunities. Be positive about it.
I have something, if it's okay. I believe it's a strength and it's one of the biggest opportunities, the thing that we have the main establishment in Brussels, where all the institutions are, pretty much everyone is there. And I think this is something that can be pursued even more. I mean, it's not an opportunity only to have the establishment on paper in Brussels, but what Brussels can actually offer. So, and for example, if we had more people, I don't know, from Brussels that are more that can access institutions, can knock on doors, we would actually get more than just visibility. We would get money as well. As those institutions, all the stakeholders, pretty much everyone can invest in Beta Europe. As what we have is a very potent concept, but this comes more like also in as a weakness. We don't really know how to sell it yet properly at the EU level. And this is something we should definitely do in the future, and not in the long term as a long-term idea, but something that we should start working like right away. As I think this is something that is going to help a lot more.
Does anybody maybe have any ideas how we can better present ourselves in Brussels? Because you definitely made a really good point, Andrea.
For that, you would need a good advocacy strategy and also somebody to implement that strategy.
Any ideas maybe for the problem of creating the awareness to MEUs? How do you think that we can expand the idea of MEU so we generate an MEU culture? Any ideas to solve that challenge?
In that case, I think that we should spend in marketing much more energy and probably money.
Okay. So invest in marketing, you would say.
Yeah, definitely.
And regarding the strengths and opportunities, I would like just to say that Beta or MEU in general, it's like a great opportunity to develop backgrounds more than after school or after university. And of course, it's an area for international European connection. Of course, it's an area to clarify a lot of issues and to understand more things about Europe and the future of Europe and the European Union in general. And it's, of course, an opportunity to strengthen the ability for future backgrounds in political development and diplomatic relations. And I would like just to have more diplomatic MEU and more international MEU. Maybe for the solution, MEU should be extended to the worldwide and not just in Europe. So people can understand this culture because it's very helpful. I myself adore it because every time we try the country, we try to be with different people from different countries, different levels. Of course, MEU sometimes is serious, sometimes is fun, sometimes it's funny, it's different. Yes, and I hope that MEU will be like an international project or like an international school for backgrounds, development, international diplomacy, security, so everything about Europe. So we as youth, we have to promote this for the next generations. And of course, for our future, so we can avoid the misunderstanding and the lack of experience and corruption and bureaucracy of a lot of politicians in the world. For example, I don't want in MEU when they speak about the problems between the European Union and China, between the European Union and Russia, between the European Union and third countries. I think that we have to avoid the problems of the previous generations because we are a new generation, we are a creative generation. So I think that MEU has to come up with new creative ideas. So everyone will enhance more diplomatic relations and avoid the political issues. And I think that in MEU we can find a lot of friendly to members, chairs, and of course organizing teams. Yeah, I hope that this is very useful for the solutions and of course for the part of strengths and opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Well, first of all, in terms of expanding, because this has been like many ideas. First of all, in terms of expanding the concept of MEU worldwide, let's say, there are MEUs outside Europe as a continent. There are many MEUs, I mean, the thing is that they are mostly unknown here. But there are MEUs in America, in Asia, in Africa. There are MEUs all around the world. It's a thing that we haven't yet contacted them, and for that reason, Beta Europe is creating a program which is called Beta Global, which will be contacting those MEUs that are abroad Europe to connect with them and to actually have a cooperation with European simulations outside Europe. So in that regards, we are taking measures about that. And secondly, in the aspect of, I believe, innovation and topics and many other things. I mean, MEUs are making, I think, a lot of effort in trying to innovate as we are facing a new era. And I mean, I believe that everyone is trying to make a change in just not being like the traditional MEU concept. So trying to create new things. So thank you for your suggestions. I believe that are actually very good points.
We have a comment from Stefan. At least he has his hands raised.
Yeah, I wanted like to propose something. For example, it's like we have a strength that is like part of our alumni group, because a lot of them are now working in national European institutions and so on, and to use that to establish or to create some kind of opportunities. For example, you have a member, like members of Beta or alumni members of Beta that are working with the MEP's offices. So you use them to make a contact with MEPs, which is already done by a lot of MEUs for gaining support and for the MEUs, but let's do more. Let's create some kind of collaboration with the MEP, so that you introduce them to what we do. They support us in more than just giving us support or money in the MEUs, maybe including us in some kind of their work and discussions. For example, also you have the alumni member that is a director in one of the biggest, you can say, Stiftungs. So you can speak with her, and so that she gives you some kind of advice on how you can approach different Stiftungs or funding organizations. That's part of the funding, to use that like alumni network for creating the future opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. This is something that we should be considering. And I mean, aside some of the ideas that we mentioned some minutes ago about the panel discussions and inviting professionals into the discussions and debates so people can engage with them. I believe that your idea could be also be engaged in a group, in a Facebook, for example, a Facebook group or any kind of social media that is only referred to the alumni of Beta. I think that that's actually something that we will be considering, because I believe that's actually a pretty good idea. Thank you.
But this goes like, just one more thing. This all goes to what Andreas said, that we are based in Brussels, and asking what we can do more with that. We need to be more engaged with all those like stakeholders. Go to the meetings or attend events that they are organizing, mingling, networking, and so on, creating the opportunities with that. As just one intervention here, because I think it's I don't know if it's Jeff Europe or European Youth Forum, that some of their, you can say, programs are sponsored by European Commission. They are funded by European Commission, and they started doing that by approaching to the Commission, going there and arranging some kind of a deal. Maybe for the future it can be that we go to the European Commission, to the DG that's responsible for the youth, we mingle, we explain what we do, we ask if there can be some kind of funds allocated for us for that specific programs and so on. That's like connecting a bit with them.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that. I think, retroactively add another weakness, because even though we are technically based in Brussels and we have a lot of opportunities in Brussels, currently none of the management board members, for example, are in Brussels. So that's definitely a good opportunity, good strength, what you mentioned. And I hope that, well, until 2025, we can make it a little bit more of a tradition, maybe that at least one of the management board members actually in Brussels and able to, go to events and such.
I think if I can add a point here, one of the solutions that I see for future subgroup in beta in general, I hope that beta will have roots so inside countries, not just one beta. So in the country, for example, if you take beta France or beta Spain or beta Portugal or any beta, we need to have different roots so inside from different cities. So in the country. The other point that I see is that I hope that beta will provide trainings to chairs and to members before the simulation. Because I see that not everyone can understand MEU, or not anyone can be included in the simulation or in beta in general in such an active way that we can just provide.
Well, usually, and that's something that is practically a tradition. I mean, in the very beginning of MEUs, usually we have one day, which is only for introductory sessions. So we teach on how participants should move in the Council of the EU, in the European Parliament, as lobbyists, as journalists, as many other roles. So of course, we are very aware of that. And as I said, at least in our MEUs, we tend always to have one day only for introductory sessions and mock debates. So people, break the ice a bit. But I believe that's a very good point.
I agree with you, Carlos. Just what I want just to say, maybe it's helpful to provide like courses from every beta region. So courses for chairs and courses for participants, for members, for organizing teams like this. So we'll have very rich, MEU very creative, and it will be very developed. So every year, every month, yes. Now we have MEUs. Yeah.
You mean like local communities?
Very good. Yeah, this is what I want to say. And of course, as we are moving to international beta or global beta, I think that there should be opportunities for everyone from the world just to join this opportunity or these opportunities, so people can avoid misunderstanding, can find solutions to issues politically or economically well, because they were really active in different debates, and they were interacting with different members from different countries, so they understand well the mentality. Yes, this is what I want to say. And of course, globalizing MEU or moving more to Brussels, meaning that people should understand that this is practice more than it's real. So there are some people that understand that I graduated from a political university or from that school, so that means that I am better than that one doesn't know that. So I think that there is a difference between betas in Europe. This is what I want approximately to see. I would like to see creative betas in Europe without differences, so people cannot look at the differences of beta as they look at the differences of GDPs between European countries. This is the point.
Okay, thank you
very much. I see Andrea has raised her hand, and we have 5 more minutes because then we basically need to open the room for the next workshop. So Andrea, you'll have the chance to make your comment, and I think then we can kind of conclude. Carlos.
Yes, thank you. Actually, I wanted to just come as an answer to Anis's point. Actually, Beta Europe has redesigned one of its teams, and it was turned from the concept team into a think tank. And one of the activities of the think tank is going to be exactly this, to create courses, including for chairs and commissioners, and to actually help all the participants and support MEUs. So Beta is actually doing already, and is continuing to do it. And that's not necessarily a solution, because it's an activity. It's just something that's going to help a lot with the concept. And I think this is a very good thing. And I appreciate a lot your comment, because it shows that there is an interest and that we can actually make it a reality. So given the fact that it came from someone else who is not in the team, for example, it's actually, it's a very good thing. So thank you.
Carlos?
Yeah, I just wanted to conclude that there are lots of ways to see Beta, maybe as a union, as solidarity, as friendship. It is true that Beta will leave several challenges. We won't be living easy times in general for MEUs and for Beta, but we are sure that with the commitment of all members, we will continue growing. With 14 branches and overall 25 MEUs, our duty is more essential than ever. And for sure, for 2025, we will bring more Europeans together. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys for participating. I actually, it's a shame that we only had 1.5 hours. I didn't think that we will so easily reach the end of it, but I think we have kind of gathered a lot of food for thought for later. And of course, you are very welcome to attend the other sessions of the symposium, where we will go into more depth into some of these things, especially what was mentioned, like content, participants, preparation, courses, things like that. So all of this can be brought up again and again throughout the symposium. So I really hope this was a good start. Happy to see all the hands. I'm glad if you enjoyed it. And we will be in touch and enjoy the rest of the symposium. I will share with you in the Facebook group probably the mural, what we made, kind of order it a little bit. And then also I have recorded this meeting, so you can rewatch it again if you want to. And eventually we will send out the information how to access that. Okay, thank you guys for your presence. Enjoy the rest of your evening and the rest of the symposium, and keep in touch.
Enjoy the symposium. Have a great night.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.